Now, think about it for a moment. On a rainy night, the screech of brakes echoed through the avenue and two vehicles collided. A momentary lapse of attention, a steering wheel losing control, and a tragic traffic accident. While sitting in the back seat of a police car, you want to believe in that single word written over the courthouse entrance: justice. The judge opens the case, reviews your file, and delivers the verdict. You will be tried under arrest. However, the price of your freedom is a $30,000 bail. The law is the same for everyone, the crime is the same, and the requested amount is exactly the same. But the moment you step inside the Palace of Justice, you realize that laws are not the same for everyone. They are a gateway that the wealthy pass right through, but a door that collapses onto the heads of those who have nothing. Now, imagine that you were the person driving that car on that dark night, but you will see a scenario where the power in your pocket changes at every level. Level 1, $100, absolute collapse. You have only $100 in your pocket. The $30,000 bail announced by the judge rings in your ears like a death sentence. The $100 in your pocket is not even enough to pay the courthouse parking fee or the expenses of the printed forms filled out by the officers. Officers take you by the arms, and you are led down to that cold, damp holding cell in the basement of the courthouse. Until your trial date arrives, perhaps for months, you wait for your court day on an iron bunk in that gray ward. Your guilt has not been proven yet. It was just an unseen accident. But your lack of money has already made you a convict in the eyes of the system. The other people in the holding cell are just like you. Ordinary lives taken hostage by the system simply because they have no money. Your life outside grinds to a halt. You lose your job, your rent and bills accumulate, and in the end, the system quietly breaks you. Level 2, $1,000. Desperate flailing. You have $1,000 in your pocket. To an ordinary person, this might look like a safety net, but against a $30,000 bail, this money is just a handful of sand. You use your right to a phone call. With a trembling voice, you call your family, your friends, your old acquaintances. Everyone asks one another for loans. Everyone explains their own economic predicament, and at the end of a week of desperate flailing, that money still cannot be scraped together. You have no money left to hire a lawyer either. The free public defender appointed to you by the system reads your name wrong in the hallway. You are just one of the hundreds of files stacked in front of your lawyer, and they are focused not on your innocence, but on when their shift will end. If you do not have the money to defend yourself, the system demands that you meet the harshest and most ruthless face of the law. And as you wait in that hallway, you realize that justice is merely a professional service, and like every service, it has a price tag. Level 3, $10,000, pawning your future. You have $10,000 in cash in your pocket. You have 1/3 of the money, but bars still loom on the horizon. Your family desperately steps in. A relative with a high credit score agrees to mortgage their house or car. A deal is struck with a loan shark or a ruthless bail bond company working for high commissions. That $30,000 is somehow deposited into the courthouse cashier's office. The iron door slowly opens and you return home. You did not go to prison, but this freedom is far from free. You will spend your next 10 years working to pay off those debts. You bought time, but in exchange, you pawned your youth and your future. Now, every morning you wake up, you think not about the accident, but about that heavy debt installment due at the end of the month. Level 4, $100,000, controlled comfort. You have $100,000 in your pocket. When the judge says $30,000 bail, you take a deep breath and feel an inward sense of relief. You pull out your phone, and with a single mobile banking instruction, you transfer that money to the courthouse accounts within seconds. Without waiting even an hour in the police station or the basement of the courthouse, you walk out the front door and return to your peaceful home. With your remaining $70,000, you visit the city's best criminal defense attorney at their private office. That attorney instantly finds a technical procedural error in the accident report or a missing statement in the police report. Right at the very first hearing, they reduce the case to a simple ratio of negligence and eliminate prison time from the agenda entirely. Your money has purchased you not just freedom, but the power to use the system's flaws to your own advantage. Level 5, $1 million, Elite Defense Shield. You have $1 million in your pocket. The $30,000 bail is nothing more than a minor glitch to you, as insignificant as a monthly credit card statement. You do not even breathe the bleak air of the courthouse. While your assistant deposits the money, you sip an espresso at a luxury cafe across the street. You build a 3-person defense shield consisting of the country's most prestigious law professors. This army of lawyers drowns the opposing party's attorneys in petitions and continuously postpones the hearings to future dates. A professional public relations campaign is managed in the media, framing the accident not as your fault, but as entirely due to a road defect. The case drags on for so long and becomes so convoluted that ultimately the file is quietly archived due to the statute of limitations. The system grows weary, the prosecutor changes, the evidence degrades, and you wrap up this lawsuit without ever facing a judge. Level 6, $10 million, the luxury of house arrest. You have $10 million in your pocket. The accident is severe, public pressure has built up, and despite all efforts, the judge is forced to sentence you to prison. Yet, thanks to your money, you buy the legal loopholes and special clauses that will alter the form of execution of your sentence. They can never put you into those gray, foul-smelling 100-person crowded wards. It is decided that you will serve your sentence as house arrest in your luxury mansion with a pool, located in the city's most upscale neighborhood. There is a sleek electronic shackle on your ankle, but you are taking walks in your garden and eating meals prepared by your private chef. You continue to manage your company from there, hold video conferences, and pick up your luxury lifestyle right where you left off. The system claims you are punished and sends a message of justice to society, whereas you have merely gone on a short vacation on your own property. Level 7, $100 million, amnesia. You have $100 million in your pocket. The fact that you were intoxicated on the night of the accident and exceeded the speed limit 3-fold stands clearly in the forensic report. That is the moment you use your fortune to completely halt the gears of the system and bend reality. Key witnesses to the accident suddenly change their testimonies, stating they do not remember anything that night and that everything happened too fast. The clearest traffic camera recordings of the accident get corrupted due to a technical failure while stored in the forensic evidence locker. The idealistic prosecutor, who insists on expanding the investigation, is abruptly reassigned to a small town at the other end of the country. A budget of $10 million can completely erase even the most concrete evidence from the eagle eye of justice. All that remains is an unsolved, open and shut but evidence-deficient gray file. Level 8, $1 billion, the cloud above the law. You have $1 billion in your pocket. You are no longer escaping through the loopholes of the laws. You are directly manipulating the laws themselves. You fund your lobbyists in the Capitol for legislative amendments that will completely eliminate your liability and prison sentence regarding that traffic accident. You pour massive donations into politicians' election campaigns, foundations, and projects. A few months later, you see that the statutory article requiring a prison sentence for that crime has been transformed into a mere administrative fine through an omnibus bill passed covertly at midnight. The public does not even notice because the language of the law is complex and designed to conceal the crimes of the wealthy. You did not eliminate the crime, you completely legitimized it with money. The law is no longer a threat looming behind you, it is a servant clearing the path ahead of you. Level 9, $10 billion plus, becoming the system itself. You are at the pinnacle. You have more than $10 billion in your pocket. That accident you were involved in is the accident of the country's largest holding company, meaning it is directly the locomotive of the economic system. The Palace of Justice cannot touch you because your arrest would mean the collapse of the stock market and the flight of foreign investors. They call you a systemic power, meaning a tower that, if it collapses, will leave everyone crushed beneath it. Far from throwing you into a cell, state officials set up secret crisis management desks with you to ensure this crisis does not harm the holding company's shares. Millions of dollars in hush money are paid to the families of those who lost their lives in the accident from the holding's funds, and complaints are instantly withdrawn. While the kid at level 1 loses his freedom in a damp ward because he couldn't find $30,000, you are discussing the economy with heads of state over dinner. You can no longer commit a crime because the system must accept everything you do as right just to sustain your existence. The end. Do you know why the eyes of that statue at the entrance of Justice Palaces are blindfolded? Not because she weighs everyone equally and stays impartial. It is so she does not see how $10 billion sitting on one side of the scale hurls the law book on the other side high into the air. Laws are like cobwebs. They catch the small flies, but let the giant wasps break right through. Justice is a price paid by those who have no money and a mechanism managed by those who do. Now, look in the mirror and ask yourself, how much does the deposit of your freedom fetch in this system? Will $30,000 lock you in a cell, or will it allow you to go on with your life? Or have you already arrived at the place of those who dissolve iron bars with money?